What we do here is go back.
And if you look at the face of Joe, he's a complete mess right now. There's blood all over the place. His eyes swelled up. You look at Tom Shelby, you don't see much, man.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bare Knuckles Most Wanted. We've got an up-and-comer, rising star in bare knuckle with us tonight. We got Mr. Zach Calmus joining us. Welcome, Zach.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. So, Zach, you and I talked on the phone yesterday, and I told you that one of the things that I wanted to hear about, since you are pretty new to the sport, is what's your background? Where do you come from? Who are you? Just tell us your story.
There's a lot to tell. I grew up originally, on the North Shore, and coming up on the North Shore, I moved around a lot. My family and moved up and down from North Shore to Cape Ann, and so every year since I was a little boy, we went to Gloucester for Christmas, and I was there every summer, almost every day since I was a little kid. So when I had the chance to pick somewhere to live in life, that's where I ended up, So it's
Cool.
my adopted town, but it might as well be my hometown because I own a house here and I live here and I work here and I've been here for almost a decade.
Very good.
I consider myself, Gloucester to Gloucester. I'm not going anywhere, and I never turn my back on my community, so it's just not going to happen. But my life story is, believe it or not, I was born probably in North Reading at the hospital, and then or Stoneham Hospital, whatever. And then my family's from Marblehead. They moved there in the after the Great Depression. My grandfather immigrated from Greece, so I'm Greek Orthodox. But my father's Jewish, so I'm both. You understand?
Sure.
I'm kind of I celebrate both. I celebrate Hanukkah, Passover, all that. So I'm a good Jewish guy, and I'm also, but it's just that I was baptized as a kid, and I have no control of that. And it's not a problem. I love my Greek people, and I love my Jewish people, and everybody's equal. But my point is that I grew up in Marblehead, of all places, which is a town north of Boston. And Marblehead is a very wealthy town, and people there go to yacht clubs and beach clubs, and there's Corinthian Yacht Club and Swampscott Beach Club and Boston Yacht Club, and there's yachts, and it's called the Marblehead Neck, and there's a lot of money in Marblehead. But the thing to be understood is that when my family moved there, you could still walk outside and shoot a turkey on your front lawn. 12 gauge, and that's how my grandfather was. He moved over here because the Nazis occupied Greece in World War One, if we're going back in history, and he was forced to move here as a child during the Great Depression, and he had to sell bananas on the street to feed his brothers and his mother. And what I'm saying is that I come from humble beginnings. Peabody is where my family immigrated from Greece in the 1950s, and that's Tanner City. So my family owned leather factories in Greece and were killed by the Nazis. So on both sides, we felt the effect of World War One and World War II. The Nazis were terrible people, and I have no issue with German people. I want to go to Germany. But what I'm trying to say is that both sides of my Greek and Jewish family were afflicted by both world wars heavily. And I can trace that lineage because I knew these people. So
Sure.
My grandfather had to flee Greece because the Nazis put him to work and put my great-grandfather to work, and then put him to sleep. He killed him.
Oh, wow.
He was not making leather jackets for the Nazis. They killed him and all the workers. So my grandfather fled Greece, and he came to Peabody, Tanner City,
Mhm.
and He worked in leather factories when he could, but he had to sell bananas. He dropped out of grade school, third grade or fourth grade, and he had to do everything he could to survive. So my grandfather eventually went to World War II, and he won awards. He was a Marine sniper, and he fought in Japan, and he won a lot of awards as a Marine sniper, and he took a big part in raising me. So I think that
Well, he was a warrior, right?
oh, he is right up. He's a famous warrior, but
Yeah.
his impact on my life stuck with me my whole entire life. Because in high school, he lived in my mom's house across the street. I grew up from my Yaya and Papa, which is Greek for grandma and grandpa. So when I grew up across the street, I ended up growing up taking care of him hand and foot because he's a warrior. So I took care of a warrior before I even knew fully grasped the concept of what being a real man or a warrior was. It was 1950 in my household. So
Yeah. So, do you think that being raised by a guy like that, a warrior, has kind of molded you into who you are, and is that part of the reason why you really wanted to fight, or why you feel the need to fight, or what drives it? What drives you to do that, man?
is certainly why my fists are pretty big. I mean, my grandfather had seen, and he was a beast. He was a man amongst men. He was a beast, and so was his brother. And my uncle's a massive guy. Respect to him. So I come from a long generation of tough guys. It's not like a shocker to my family that of what I'm doing. My mother is so happy. Today's Mother's Day. Shout out all the moms in the world. Hey,
Yes, let's take a moment and just thank all the moms out there. So, happy Mother's Day. And we're going to have another mother on the podcast here coming up here in just a little bit with Mrs. Britton O'Bannon is coming on. And yes, so and I know that you love the O'Bannons and they love you and I was really happy and impressed by some of the efforts that they made to help you out. And speaking of that, how I saw Sean Ulrich, and if you didn't realize it, we got some of the Knuckle Up guys, Knuckle Up Media guys on tonight, hanging with us in the live chat. And so, what's up, Sean? What's up, Juan? And love those guys. And so, Sean wanted to know how are you healing?
So I got 2 teeth pulled out. I thought it might have been 3 because when O'Bannon hit me, God bless him, when he hit me, it hit so hard that I felt it, and it actually shot straight up into the roof of my mouth. The 2 teeth. It wasn't like they were like hanging on by a thread. They were, but like
they were impacted.
They went right up into the roof of my mouth, like a shark breaching water.
So what did that feel like? When it happened, like what was going through your head during that fight when you were taking shots like that?
Physically, it was some of the worst pain of my life.
And so, worst pain of your life, but yet you choose to just keep getting up. Why? I mean, most people wouldn't, man.
Terminated.
Like I said before, and here's the thing. This time you asked for my life story.
Yeah.
And some good things about my family history, which are all true.
Yep.
My grandfather and where my roots were and why I'm humble warrior. And I know what it takes. We pushed up banana carts in the Depression.
Yep.
So I know what it takes to come up, and the American dream is still achievable, but it's always been hard. If it was easy, everybody would be driving a Lamborghini, and that's not the case.
That's right. That's right.
I believe that people think that in this world, it's a give me culture. Nothing's given. You have to go out and take it. You have to grab life by the horn. I believe that.
Yeah, man.
I'm just a real guy's guy, and I believe in being go out and get it, be a go-getter. And this time, the difference between when you talk about getting up, in the O'Bannon fight, I told him in some other podcasts, and it's the truth. I never lied. I don't lie, and I pride myself on my honesty. But here's the thing. I've been going through a lot of pain. I lost a friend 2 weeks ago, a dear friend.
Oh, man.
And he's dead, and he's in the earth, and I can't get him back.
So sorry to hear that.
I can't get our memories back. I can't see his face. I can't hear him laugh. We can't go get a Budweiser, and I love Budweiser. Shout out Budweiser. We'd love to hear that. And I still drink our Budweisers, and I still do my thing. I still dance around. I have fun. It's 38 Special and all the good music. We grew up, and we're real North Shore guys. It's a fisherman town, and life is hard here, and I respect Gloucester because life isn't easy here. If it was easy, everybody would just have it rosy, and life is not rosy all the time anywhere. So if you can make it in Massachusetts, you can make it anywhere, I believe, in New England, because it's a tough climate. Not only the weather, having the four seasons that impact your body, the spring, fall, summer, and the winter, all that's hard. But life is hard out here because people have a go-getter mindset in New England. Whereas if you're not working like bomb, 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 if you're not banging that hammer, then somebody else is. If you're not running, you're gonna get ran over. So I've always been like, I have to go do this, I have to go do that. We feel like I know fighters. We feel like we have to go to the gym, or we're not gonna sleep that night. Some fighters, like a lot of fighters that I know from New England, are like bred of that same cloth. That's why
Yeah.
I'm so inspired. But the difference between last fight and this fight is, I was going through so much pain before the fight that I had no choice but to get up. Um, he would have had to kill me to honestly, and that's no
I
disrespect.
believe that
Anyone in the
based
world,
on what I saw. I
disrespect,
mean,
Mister.
everybody
I
saw it.
would not disrespect anyone. What I'm
No.
saying, so what I was going through was going to kill me anyway. Mentally, I was spiritually going through things that I can't even fully express to you. The levels of pain that I felt in my heart when my friend died, and I had to tuck that. That was mid training camp. I was training like a dog, and I got the call at 5:30 in the morning, and it broke me. And I had to tuck all that. I couldn't even feel for him. I couldn't even. I couldn't even feel. I had to just do it cold face. Okay, that happened. Move on. And I'm a professional, so I had to move on. And I'm a lot more grown than a lot of people imagine because I just forgot it even happened because I was in the middle of training camp. I got sparring partners. I got schedule with Coach Alex. I have to keep up with my schedule or I'm not going to do well. I'm not going to sleep that night. So I had to like forget it happened, which was crazy because I had to go to work that day and move three places. And guess where the three places were?
Where's that?
All our old stomping grounds. I'm talking about Rocky Neck. I'm talking about the marina. I was in Bogart. I was in three places we used to hang out. It screwed me up a little. I was like, yo, you're sending me a message. I believe in
Hmm.
it. And thank you. It's okay. He said, and after that, I trained like a dog. I wasn't able to grieve him until I got back to my hotel room looking like the Hamburglar. I looked so rough after, and I got down on my hands and knees and I cried. Thank God I finally let it out and it felt so good. It was like a terrible feeling, but it was a good feeling in the same. I had to let out the beast, and I've come home. It's like Saturday morning. I woke up and I looked like terrible. I looked awful. Like people were like in the airport, like, "Oh my god." People were asking, "What happened? Are you okay?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm good." Coach and Patty were carrying me, literally carrying me. My manager and coach were carrying me at times. But I woke up and my heart really did grow. I felt like a better person. I had put the beast of the past behind me. So when I go into my next fight, when that is, I'm not going in there in the same way. I'm not going in as the same person at training camp when that call gets me. I'm going in with a happy mindset, as a happy person. I want to show the world that you can still succeed. It doesn't have to come from your demons. It can come from your angels. Because I'm not upset anymore. I'm happy. I lost my teeth and it was the best day of my life. And I am happy. I wake up and I walk up to people that were mean to me and bitter. And I say, hey, how you doing? Say, congratulations. And I don't have any resentment really in my heart anymore. I let it go. I'm like, hey, good to see you. Man, thanks for congratulating me. Have a great day. And I truly mean that. I don't care. I might have been a different person back there. Maybe I wouldn't have liked myself. So you just got to let go and forgive and forget and just move on with your life and try to inspire the good people and live on that note. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
So,
man. So it sounds to me like this whole experience has really almost been therapeutic for you. Would you say that that's true?
oh, oh, so therapeutic on so many levels. I don't need pills and I don't need doctors, but I'll tell you something. The BKFC was all that and more. The great savior. My life was saved. I said that on this podcast with Mason Feldman. You saved my life, and I fully meant it. I'm not a liar. I can't sleep. I can't live. I will never lie to you guys. I won't lie to anyone, even people I don't like. I won't lie. It might not be what they want to hear, but I'm not going to lie. And guess what? It was the best day of my life. That's why I said all that, because live or die, and I'm prepared to die, but I'd rather live. I said that before too. It's all true. I mean that stuff.
Yeah,
I just
man.
platform to release everything that was inside because I knew the world. I prayed honestly the world would accept who I truly was, and I giving you the authentic Zach Calmus. You know,
So what inspired you to
now
what,
I'm just, you know, it's
what inspired you to rip the shirt off?
Hulkamania.
All right,
There it is. There it is. So, dude, I saw you in the airport.
I can't lie. I love it when I watch. I'm missing Monday. I gotta watch Monday night.
If we send you a shirt,
Friday Night SmackDown. I watch all that. I love wrestling.
if we send you a Bare Knuckles Most Wanted shirt, would you rip that off for us?
Yes, sir. I was gonna do that tonight for you guys before I get.
All right, we'll send you a shirt to rip off for the next event.
I'm into this stuff. Budweiser too. A lot of people in my town, which is kind of weird because I'm not anything like this guy in my personality. I'm nothing like this person. Like I have a high school girlfriend. I love my girl. We've been not like she's not in high school. I mean, we've been together for 10 years. We've been engaged for 2 years. Me and my wife to be, and I don't go out anymore. I don't do anything. Like I'm not like I don't think I'm a rock star or a celebrity or anything. I don't have an ego. I buried it. It's gone. Well, egos are terrible.
Hey man, I'll tell you what, you may not see yourself as a celebrity, but you certainly gained a whole heck of a lot of fans.
Not fans,
on April 30th. I'm telling you right now, right. Everybody in the bare knuckle community knows exactly who you are, including that lady right down there, Mrs. O'Bannon.
Hi, Mrs. O'Bannon. How you doing?
How are y'all?
Good. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you, Zach.
Nice to see you.
You
Absolutely.
too.
Hey, Zach, you're welcome to hang out with us, and we got a couple more guests coming on, and you can hang out and ask questions also.
Yeah.
Oh, fun. So,
Britton, you and I got the chance to get to know each other a little bit, and I got to meet your husband, and I love both of y'all. You're wonderful, wonderful people. I think Zach would agree with me. But so we wanted to talk to you about a couple of things tonight.
Okay.
So first, we want to hear about two perspectives, because you obviously you wear a couple of different hats in this bare knuckle world that we live in, right?
Right.
So you're a fighter's wife, and
Yes.
you're also a manager, and
Yes.
so. How does that, like, what is that like to wear those couple of hats? Like, and do you look at it like in one wide lens, or like do you have to like kind of take yourself out of one role and put yourself into, so tell us about that.
It is definitely not a one lens deal at all. When it comes to being a fighter's wife, I get emotional, obviously, I mean, come on, if you're a wife or a spouse of a fighter, I'm sure you can relate, anybody. I get the nervousness, I get the meltdown, everything. And, but I mean, it does cross over, because during my nervousness and meltdown, instead of me doing that, from the time we hear of a fight until the fight night and all of that, I don't have time to do that. When it comes to this, I've been able to say, you know what, this is work. And if I focus on my emotions about my husband getting in the ring with anyone, especially Zach, then I have to put them emotions aside. I mean, there's work that's got to be done.
Yeah, and Juan needs to put his emotions aside too.
Oh gosh.
Calm down, Juan.
Knuckle up Friday night. Calm down, Juan. Calm down. I'm still yours.
He's funny.
But anyways, I kind of have to put them emotions, I have to put them emotions aside and say, you know what, there's business that has to be taken care of. And if I stay in these emotions, I can't get business done. And when it comes to that, I feel like I'm helping my husband achieve his goals, his dreams. And with my health, I've kind of decided a little while back that I would never have a career, a job, anything, because I couldn't do anything. I'm stuck at home. Now, granted, Bo has taken great care of me, and I love being at home with our kids and everything, but I needed something. And Bo, it started off jokingly, me becoming his manager, so I thought, and I did it, and I have fallen head over heels with it. If Bo quits tomorrow, I'm still going to be there. I'm still going to be Bare Knuckles' #1 fan, and I'm still going to be supporting my fighters. But as far as me having to step out of the role of wife, I do, because when offered this is a great example. This past time was the hardest time for me. When Bo was offered to fight Zach, it was on a 4-day notice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so the wife in me was like, absolutely not. That's not happening. But the manager in me said, actually, buddy, do you remember saying anywhere, anytime, anyone, you're going to be in that ring, no matter if you like it or not.
Oh.
And so
and we had
I
a conversation about that over some barbecue.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it works. He's a man of his word. And me being his wife should have reminded him, but me being emotional at the time, I was like, But then it was me, my brother Eric, his corner man. Everybody knows him as Easy. We were sitting on the porch, and I just busted out crying, and they're like, "Okay." And I'm like, we agreed that you would do this. And show the love of God in a sport to where people think, no, that can't be of God, but you can show God's love anywhere. And we, Bo has prayed and he's been told that I'm going to get healed through him doing this. And so I told him, I said, you don't have a choice. So that was a very tearing apart moment for me, because I wanted so bad just to say, stay home, baby, don't go there. But I mean, come on, there's work that's got to be done, and we all have tough challenges, and we step up and we overcome them. Wife, manager, either way, when a challenge is put in front of us, even though wife part of me cries for a little while and boo-hoos for a little while, there's still the task at hand, and we both, get together and we tackle it together and we get stuff done.
Absolutely. So, hey, Zach, do you have any questions or anything that you'd like to say to Britton?
No, I just want to say thank you. Thank you.
You're so welcome, Zach. Zach has blessed us tremendously. Zach is, I'm going to be honest, Zach, don't take this the wrong way to begin with, I promise. But when I first, heard his name, I put on my FBI hat like I always do. It's almost like when a woman thinks her husband's cheating, she goes and she finds all the information. Like, yep. I'm going to get your social security number. I mean, everything. You're going down. Like, that's the way I look at it. So, when I found out about Zach, what is it?
I said, you can have my social. I'll give you any information you need. I
don't mean it. But I mean, that's how I am. When Bo gets a fight, I'm on it, man. I gotta watch the fights. I gotta, everything. I couldn't find anything about Zach. Nothing. I've seen him sparring with Chris Sorrow, but I couldn't find anything. And so I'm like, okay, one or two things is going on here. They're bringing you in for a complete joke of a show. Sorry, y'all, go with me here. Or, this guy's going to come demolish you. One of the two things. That's what's going to, that's what's going to happen. So anyways, I get there, and they're on their way to weigh-ins, about to get on the van, and I see Zach standing there, and he just shakes my hand with this big smile on his face. And I'm like, so I go get in the vehicle with Bo. I actually got out of the vehicle with y'all, Matt. I went and got in the vehicle with Bo, and I was like, you can't fight him. And he said, do what? I was like, he's so nice. I love him. I want to be his friend. And he was like, we can still be his friend. You know that. And I was like, okay, just be nice. Be nice. I'm going to tell him too. Be nice. So I'm telling you, I just loved him already. And then, buddy, when they got in that ring, I realized real quick, this was not a joke. That Zach came to brawl, and buddy, did they brawl. That was the most spectacular show I have ever seen. And I'm not just saying that because it was my husband.
I'll tell you, I knew your husband. I've been following him in the BK, especially since the BKFC. I've been watching since it started, and since BKFC 1, I've been watching. So I was a huge fan of Bobo O'Bannon. So when the switch happened, I didn't know as much about Frank Tate. No disrespect, I just didn't know as much.
Right.
But I knew who your husband was, and I told my wife to be. We're being engaged for 2 years, and she's my girl for 10. I was like, I had the chance to fight a legend. And I know he's really good. And she's like, you should go, you should do that. I'm like, obviously, I'm going to do it. I told Mr. Feldman that I'm not going to back down, no matter who it is. I'll fight anyone, I told him. And I already said that I pride myself on being an honest man. And that's something that's rare these days is honesty. And it hurts sometimes. You have to tell the truth. It might not be what people want to hear. My mom always said, but you got to do it. And I literally, I'm at the point now where I can't sleep at night, unless I tell the truth. So I'm making those good changes in my life for a very long time. The fight with Bobo just helped cement it. So, like, you know, basically that was the hardest fight of my entire life. And I've been in a lot of fights with tough people. I've been in fights with giants. I played football. I fought guys who were online. I fought guys in the streets. I've been kicked out of bars and clubs. I fought people who have been to jail. I fought members. I've been jumped by 20 guys before. But your husband gave me the fight that I truly wanted, the test of where I was in life, more than just fighting. But he was the best fighter that I ever shared the ring. And I was
Thank you for that.
I was amazed at your husband's ability and skill. I was taken back from his last 2 fights, the footage that I watched, because I told you I followed Bobo and I considered him like an idol. Like I know who he is. So I was like, that's the difference between you and me, is that you were looking at me, but there's really not much to look at an amateur boxing record and 1 pro fight going into this. So I understand. But your husband already had a pro career, and he was somebody that I idolized. So you just gained a friend of me.
That's so cool.
At me, I was like, I can't believe Bobo O'Bannon is pulling up in a car with his wife. So I was starstruck.
That is so funny to me.
I realized Bobo was exactly who I thought he was, and as nice as I thought he was. So that was great. You know, it was just a plus. The fact that I was already happy to be in the same room as him, and all that. So having the fight with him was, oh man, in my wildest dreams, it was the best day of my life, and I fully mean that. It was the best experience.
And you mentioned that
he was the best fighter, not just the best fight of my life. He was the best fighter that I've been in any fight with him. He's the best man, best fighter, not just the best fighter, best man, best fighter, skill-wise and person, that heart, body, and soul that I've ever fought. And I fought everyone growing up.
You're going to get me choked up on the show.
I fought number 1 from all Casablanca. He's going to Tokyo. My best friend, Rashida Ellis, going to Tokyo to represent us in the Olympics. I have an Olympic champions. My sparring partner, world champion. I spar world champions. No one's ever given me a business like your husband did. I mean, look, I lost 2 teeth. I was shot for 3 days. I got scars. I'm kind of chubby, y'all know that, but I got bruises. Like I literally, I got bruises up and down. They're in the backside, but up and down my shoulder blades. I have bruises on my back. I look like I look and feel exactly as it was. It was a war, and I came to fight. I came for the upset, Miss O'Bannon. No disrespect to Bobo or you, because we don't do that. I don't do that. Y'all don't do that. I don't like people that do that. Even if someone walked up to me and blasted me in the face and tried to beef with me, I'd be like, I don't do that, brother. So let's just have our fight. I don't want to beef with people. So on a personal level, I'm never going to go there. Even if they do, I'm still not going to go there. So they can't break my spirit in that sense. I know what's right and what's wrong. And that's it. There's nothing in between. But I'll tell you, you guys are right. You guys, I love you guys. And your husband is the toughest guy I've ever fought my entire life. He's a beast.
He is a beast. He is a beast, Zach.
I never want to fight him again.
And I tell you what, you mentioned that Bobo is a legend.
The best fight of my life. He hurt me. That's all.
I think that all of you guys are legends.
He'll be a world champion next.
You know,
for the belt.
Reggie just shouted out he loves you.
Yeah, man.
Oh, Reggie
we got a
Barnes is
couple of really great fighters in the chat. I saw
Okay, speaking of Bobo, I
he's
look
the
up
Tula
to Reggie
Kokar in
Barnes.
there earlier. Like, I'm a fan of that guy too. Love to get him on the
I've been
show.
watching
Oh,
Reggie.
I love Reggie.
I
Reggie
love
Barnes
Reggie.
is one of the reasons why I even went to tryouts. So he's exactly who I thought he was. And I've been watching him from home. And when he fights, I don't even know the guy, only from being a fan of the BKFC. Is the only reason I even know who he is. I didn't know him when he was pro boxing. I saw him in the BKFC because I watched since the beginning. And when I saw Reggie Barnes, I watch every fight, and I go so crazy when he fights. I didn't even know the guy. I'm banging on my own walls and getting calls from my neighbors. Everything okay over there? I'm like, oh no, just the guys on TV. I'm excited, and I don't even know this guy. And I'm like, ah! I'm like, let's go, go, go. So he's another guy that I was starstruck. He's my idol. Reggie Barnes is my idol. So meeting him was I have no words for that. That was when you meet your idol, it's
Bring it on, Juan. Bring it on.
Meeting Bobo O'Bannon and meeting Reggie Barnes, there's no words for that. So
Absolutely. I love Reggie, and I think that you might be underselling yourself a little bit, because after that fight, which in my opinion is one of the greatest fights in BKFC history, one of the most entertaining fights and one of the greatest shows of heart I've ever seen. And so that is the stuff that makes legends, brother. So Zach, thank you for coming on, man. Do you have any sponsors or anybody that you want to shout out before we let you go tonight?
Only thing, I don't have any sponsors, but I want to say something because I never take handouts and I never do anything for free. And I want to say that the only people I want to shout out are people that have been there. My coach, Coach Alex, the guy on the ringside with me, I wouldn't even I don't think I'd be alive without Coach Alex. So I want to shout out Coach Alex, Private Jewels Fitness, and 725 Summer Street. And we're a full fighter gym. If you come there, you will learn how to fight. We got an amateur team with 90 to 100 kids on it. We got a pro team with 150 pro athletes. And that's in Lynn, Mass, on 1930. Lynn, City of Sin. You never go out the way you came in, but that doesn't mean you have to come out worse. Say that because I come out better and I love my community. So we're on Summer Street, 725 Summer Street. If you're in Boston, we're #1 gym. You come there, we're a real gym. You come in there, you're gonna fight. You're not gonna come in there and do Zumba. Place of business. It's called the Wolf Pack. We're all wolves. I'm an alpha wolf. We're all wolves. And what I'm trying to say to you is that it's a place of business, a real fighting gym. And that's a difference. We don't do all that. We don't need the fitness clients to stay in business. We don't need that. We give our memberships for free to real fighters a lot of time. They don't want it. You know why? They come in, they want to have pride. We don't let people take the free ride. You got to come in, pay for a membership. You got to really want this. Like, we don't just have kids in there who don't want to fight. We have kids who come in and we ask them to sign up for a $150 membership for USA Boxing right away. That's the first step. You want to be part of the Wolfpack, get yourself a license and do it officially. Because a lot of gyms are like, oh, yeah, come in and fight. We'll teach you how to fight. We want your money. We don't care about your money. We don't need your money. Just like me. I don't care about money. We don't need your money. We need your respect. The Wolfpack, sheepskin. And that's all it is. So at the Wolfpack, it's a real fighting gym, 725 Summer Street, Lynn, Massachusetts, 1930. Lynn, City of Sin. You never go out the way you came in. They took me in. That city took me in when I needed them. I grew up right around Lynn Shore, right there. I go to Lynn all the time. They took me in when I needed them. I love you, Lynn. I do it. I do it for the people who don't have anybody. And I don't have any sponsor myself. It's like Ricky Bobby when it says me. That's it. I don't need it.
I have a feeling that's about to change. I'm just saying.
I hope God wills it my way, but I don't need anything. I never ask for handouts. I work on a moving company. I want to shout out Hiltz Moving in Gloucester. I work there 6 days a week. I work like a dog. I'll move your house. I'll do it with respect. I won't break your furniture. And if I do, I'll tell you because I'm honest. So I'll fix it for you or I'll pay for it. No problem. I work at Hiltz Moving. So I only want to shout out Private Jewels Fitness, Hiltz Moving, and I want to shout out Patty Tangeray Hurley. That's the woman who manages me, and she's been in the business for 30 plus years. She's friends with Mickey Ward and Dickie Ward, and that's like Lowell Dynasty, you know, in terms of managing and boxing family. So I just want to shout out Patty, because without Patty Tangeray, I wouldn't be the man I am. She's my boxing mother. She's the Mother Teresa of boxing. I mean, she walks kids across the street, risks her life for people who don't even know. Patty Tangeray Hurley is the manager of the past because she understands where the business came from, but she also understands kids and the youth and the future. So she's the manager of the past because she understands it, but she also understands the future. So I just highly recommend her because she's like my mother. She's like Mother Teresa of boxing. I'll tell you, I do
That's
anything
awesome.
for Patty. I give my life for Patty. Thank you, Early. I die for her right now.
Well,
So,
Zach, it has been an honor and a pleasure, sir, and we appreciate you so much. And we definitely will have you back.
Yes.
And you know, get in my inbox as soon as you get any kind of fight news, any updates you can give me. Get in my inbox. We'll bring you back on.
yeah, we'll do that. That's
All
gonna
right,
be
brother. Well,
that'll
thank
be
you
great.
again so much for coming on.
You see me playing around. I'm not gonna do it right now. You see me playing around, I get itchy, and I start feeling like, maybe I'll just rip my shirt a little because
Do it.
Do it.
No, I don't force it. It's one of those things that has to be spontaneous. I feel it. It's not a do thing. It's not a do thing, guys. See that? I was feeling for it, but then I was like, nah, I don't feel it. It has to be. That's why it's real. I don't do it all the time. I just have to feel it. It comes out at barbecues and family events.
I'm feeling it over here, though. Pushing it to you.
Oh man.
No.
Well, thank you very much, Zach, for coming on.
Yeah, man. I'll be talking to you soon. Have a good night, brother. Stay in the chat. Hang out.
Amazing people. I got to take my dog for a walk. He's looking at me funny. That's why I've been talking to my old Kingy. He's an old good boy. He's a good old boy. Look at him.
There he is.
He's sleepy, but he's been looking at me for an hour. He has to go out. I want to take him out.
All right, brother.
I love you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, likewise. Have a great night, brother. Well, that guy is really cool.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's so
I like
awesome.
that guy. I like that guy a lot. Yeah. Honestly, I didn't know what to expect. Like I started to say earlier, I saw him in the airport when I landed in Birmingham. He got off the plane at the same time I did, and this guy was like there was no mistake. I just looked at him. I'm like, he's a fighter. You know, like he was pacing around, his eyes were bugging out of his head. Like he was just like how he was at the weigh-in is how he was walking around the airport. And I'm not kidding. And like he was so intense that like there was no doubt in my mind. I don't know who he is, but he's going to be on that card. I knew he was going to be a fighter. So
yeah.
Anyway, but super impressive guy. You know, but he and I had a long phone conversation yesterday. I learned a lot about him, and just a cool person. So, so back to Britton O'Bannon.
Oh gosh.
So, what is it? What goes through your head when your man is having a fist fight in front of thousands of people live and millions around the world? Like what happens to your heart? like what is like
my defibrillator is the best thing I've ever gotten through my whole health journey, y'all. It is so many emotions in one, and this is completely win, lose, draw. It's the same emotions every time. Like it's not, oh, he's losing or he's no. Mm-mm. The video that Vince posted that Brandon Lambert was, holding me. That's it. I was crying one minute. I was screaming like a crazy, I'm going to eat you alive, mama bear the next minute. Mm-hmm. It is, when I hear his song start playing and I see his face, everything just, I can't describe the nervousness that I feel. And it's like, I've been through a lot, and I've never experienced this type of nervousness, like, because you never know the outcome. Like, let's be honest here. You never know the outcome.
That's right.
And do I have faith in my husband? Absolutely. More now so than the 2 fights before Zach because that wasn't my husband. That was fine. Not taking away from them fighters. They are awesome. Like, please don't think I am.
Especially that one guy. I mean, he's really good.
That Hammer guy?
Yeah, that guy. The hillbilly guy.
Yeah.
He's
all right. Sam, I really like you, but I'm not going to say that in front of him. So, but I mean, not taking anything away from them by any means. And I wasn't even able to be at that fight. So I did watch it, and I was I can't even say what I said to him when he got home that night. But it's just one of those things. Like I said, I get so nervous, but I'm in the pride. Oh my gosh, the pride, the I'm so proud of you. Oh, I can't explain it. I cannot explain it. Like, especially this last fight, man. Like, I'm going to get choked up talking about it. Like, he worked so hard. He did. He worked incredibly hard to get where he's at now. And I was sitting there. I even told him this on the way home just a minute ago. Like, I literally ran in and turned this on. That's why I looked the way I looked. But anyways, I told him just a minute ago, I said, the pride that I felt seeing how much that you have grown, seeing how much you've improved, and just everything. Like, the pride was so overwhelming. Like, I was smiling one minute, I was crying the next, simply because I'm one of those people that, Zach, like, I felt him hurting.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and I mean, I knew my husband was hurting too, and that breaks my heart for both of them. But it's like nervousness, and then, like I said, the pride is just overwhelming. Like, it's all the emotions in one, and even like, I hate to say it, it's not really anger. I guess it's like feistiness or whatever, and like the feistiness comes out in me. I'm like, let me in there with them. Like, either one. Like, if Bo does something dumb, I'm like, put me in there with him. The other guy does something dumb, I'm like, put me in there. I'm just going to show him. Like,
hey,
like, it's just
nobody wants to mess with you. I promise you that, and including your husband. But
he knows.
You've got Brittany Serino or Carino, sorry. Down in the chat there, she said that she was explaining what happens to your heart, because that was my question.
Brittany, I didn't tell Bo that.
Well, the cat's out of the bag now. Good job, Brittany.
Yeah, I literally left the hotel, y'all. I put it, in the drawer beside the bed, and I walked out and left my heart medication, blood pressure, because I take a whole handful. I left it all. And my alarm goes off, like, and it's hilarious because it went off in the middle of like an interview one time, and it was like, pop those pills, mama. And I'm like, I'm sitting around, surrounded by people. Yeah. And Brittany's like, what's wrong? And I was like, nothing. Like, at first I was just like, nothing. Everything's fine. Like, and I go, okay, look, I forgot my medicine. Just don't tell Bo. And she's like, oh no, we are not having that. And I was like, what? And she was like, don't tell me, like, she was more upset than he would have been, I think. So her and one of our other friends hopped right in the vehicle, went straight to the hotel and got it with all this going on. I mean, she was there with her podcast. And I mean, that right there, I mean, this is totally off subject, but that right there, man, that just shows the BKFC family. Whoa. I mean, they really stick together. Like, they really do.
It really is tight knit, and that's something that I found, and I'm somewhat new to the BKFC family. I guess I feel kind of like I'm part of it now. Getting to know everybody, and there's just so many good people, and it really is a tight knit community. And that's something that I think has been really, really impressive to me, and something I've really enjoyed. I like being a part of it. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun. And I appreciate the BKFC community sort of embracing me. So that's meant a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to a lot of people. So it's one of those things where you get so busy in life, and I have another business outside of this, and and sometimes we forget to make room for friends. But the cool thing about this is that it's work, but like it's also like hanging out with your friends. So it's, it's like you get the best of both worlds. So
Yeah.
that has been something that has been super cool for me, and something that I've really enjoyed.
Yes.
But so what is going on with Moo Cow management? I know that you've been making some moves, young lady. I'd like to hear from it.
Well, okay. So like I said earlier, it started off, he would, he was managed by someone else, and we actually love that person. We do. It's just with my conditions, we needed the income. You know what I mean? We needed to keep the income coming home at that time. And so anyways, Bo just said, look, he said, I'm just gonna do it on my own. And I was like, oh no. Oh, like I love him, but y'all, what I do, it ain't happening. Like he couldn't do it. He couldn't. I could get in the ring and throw hands, no problem, but he couldn't do what I do. So
I hear that. And I think that that's a super interesting point, because I've heard a lot of fighters.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of fighters saying like, oh, well, why, certain fighters that have said, well, why do I need a manager? Like I've been doing this successfully on my own for so long and this and that. And the reality is that, number one, not all of these guys have been in the pro, in professional fighting for long enough to make it a full-time gig. So a lot of these guys, your husband, Sam, are still working. Bobo Ban and Sam Shoemaker, two of the top heavyweights in the division, still both working full-time jobs, and so it's a time constraint, number one. And as you know, Britton, you have to put some time into it, and not only that, but it's also, not all. I mean, some of these guys just have a mindset of that I'm a fighter,
Right.
and so, and at a certain point you have to put on your business hat, and
Exactly.
and Sam did that, and he actually did really well with it, but it got to a certain point where he, it gets to a certain point for anybody that you're going to need some help for most
Exactly.
people.
Exactly.
So you've been that for Bobo, and I've been really, really fortunate, and I've really enjoyed working with Sam. And we've done a lot of cool things. You and Bobo, I mean, you've done a lot of cool things with Bobo, and it's an interesting dynamic, but yeah, so sometimes you have to, it's okay to ask for help, and to have somebody with a business mind, and obviously you do, to come in and run the business for you. Because at the end of the day, if you're a fighter, you're out there listening to this, most of you probably know this, but you are a business, you are a product, and you are in charge of marketing yourself. So you can be a great CEO and not be good at marketing. Right. So the fighters, at the end of the day, with the exception of in Britton and Bobo's case, the fighter is the boss, right? Or they should be, if it's done right. They have the final say. They're the boss. But sometimes you need somebody to give you some guidance. Sometimes you need somebody to make a phone call for you and negotiate a deal, because in my case, that is what I do. I negotiate deals. I'm a business person, so I come in with that mindset.
Right.
That's what I do, and that's what you've done. So congratulations on all your all the success that you've had as a manager, and I know that you're going to continue to grow that business, and that you're going to do just really, really well with it. So very proud of you.
Well, thank you.
We do have another question.
Yeah, what's the
Okay.
question?
Somebody, New York Tutors, I guess, was wanting to know what happened with the security guard. Did he actually put his hands on you, or?
Oh boy. Golly, y'all. Okay.
People want
so
the details.
Do what now?
I said people want the details.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you the raw details because this is a very touchy subject.
Mm.
So I had to use my wheelchair the night of the fight. Matthew saw me, and I was doing good somewhat. But yeah, it was not working for me very much. So I let my pride go and use the wheelchair. And one of our friends had pushed me up, like, there was 2 ramps, and then, you come down the big flight of stairs to the ring part. Well, they pushed me up, and I was just going to wait on Bo there, and he started, getting everybody out of the building. Well, I'm by myself, as far as waiting on my husband, and then there's a couple of people standing around, and he was like, them couple of people had kind of walked off a little bit to talk to other people. And he comes up to me, out of all people in the venue, he comes up to me and says, "You need to get out right now." And I was like, "Yes, sir." I said, "I'm waiting on my husband to get paid. He fought tonight. So can you, just give me a minute and let him get up here?" And he was like, "No, I said get out now. I don't care who you're waiting on." I was like, okay. Then he grabs my wheelchair and goes to push me out the front door.
Whoa.
But you had some help, right?
Yes. And that is when I say BKFC is family, y'all, I literally blinked. Drew Toppin, I believe is how you say his last name.
Mm-hmm.
Drew, Joe Elmore's wife, Maggie. I'm talking about who else? It was such a big blur. We're surrounded. Like, I was surrounded. And they was like, "She's not going anywhere. She's waiting on her husband." And he was like, da-da-da-da. And then he proceeded to get in my face and scream. And I was like, okay, and I'm like, "Sir." And then, Joe Elmer's wife, she's so sweet. It was so funny because she was smiling as she was telling him, "No, we're not going to move her. She's not going anywhere." She was trying to be nice. And he just kept getting louder. And she said, "Sir, why did you choose her out of all these people that's left in here? Why would you choose her, the one that's in the wheelchair? Why would you approach her?" And she was like, "Well, how about you get those other ones out and then we'll talk some more." So when he turns to do that, I look at Drew and I'm like, "Drew," he's ready. He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, I'm out of part, buddy. Get me to Bo." Y'all, that little thing grabs my wheelchair, does a 360 and takes off all the way down the ramp. I'm talking about booking it. And by the time we get down there, and I'm going to be raw about it. I was so embarrassed. All that had to happen because I was in a wheelchair, and I've never been that embarrassed when it comes to my health ever. And so that was a very bad moment for me that night. And I didn't know, but when I came in there, Bo was going up the steps. He had dropped his phone and everything because somebody had came in there and was like, "The security guard is trying to physically put your wife out."
Oh,
and
shit.
yeah, he just took off running up them steps, and everybody's like, "Bo, Bo, Bo, Bo." And I took a deep breath because I was exhausted, y'all. I didn't get out of bed until this past Wednesday, so I was exhausted. And I was like, "Oh," and I was just like, "Baby." And he heard my voice. And when he turned, I was like, "Oh, wow," because it looked like he, was in the ring with Zach again. And I was like, "Oh, gosh." And then his face was like, "Okay." And he came to me, and I had to cry in front of everybody. I was so embarrassed. Sorry if y'all had to see that. But, yeah, I've never in my life, and I can't believe it happened. It was insane. But, I guess he had his reasoning, so that's fine. I'm not here to bash anybody, but
well, I'll just say, sir, if you're listening to this podcast, you should be ashamed of yourself. How dare you?
Yeah, and I'm sure he's thinking back now that was a near-death experience. So
yeah, if he only knew who your husband was, he might have rethought his actions. Yeah.
Do y'all know who I was scared of more than anybody standing there? Sweet little Joe Elmer's wife, Maggie, was smiling the whole time. And I'm like, "Oh, she's smiling, man. I know what it's like when I start smiling at Bo. I know what's going on." So she was smiling at the man, and I'm just going to leave it as that.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. So, and I wanted to, I was going to touch on.
hello?
Oh, did we lost you for a second there, Britton?
Yeah, I had a phone call. Sorry.
You're okay.
But,
go ahead.
I was going to say earlier too, Matt was talking about, people, managing and stuff. I am not, I'm not in this to grab everybody's fighters. I'm not going to, let's be honest here. I mean, any of the managers that want to team up with me, I don't have the best ideas, but I mean, anybody that wants to reach out to me, I am an open book. I can help you. I can help you get started. I mean, I can give you the kind of rundown of what I tried, and stuff like that. Like, I'm an open book, and I'm here to help everybody because I love every single one of these fighters, and I believe every single one of these fighters should be bringing in, money in their pocket and stuff. So, I mean, if anything I can do, just reach out to me and let me know. I would be more than happy to help anyone because I know what it's like starting out, and I'm going in blind. So I know what
Likewise,
it's like.
likewise. Yeah. And I'm the same way, and by the way, you still owe me a conversation. So we need to,
You'll
we
need
need,
one.
yeah, I do owe you. So we need to have a conversation, and I'm the same open book. I'm not, if there are other managers out there listening, I'm not your competition.
Mm-mm.
I'm just not, so,
Okay.
but I do think that there's some value in those conversations, and we can all talk about what works and what's worked and what hasn't, and
Right.
share ideas. And I think that Bobo's success and Sam's success and Zach's success and Reggie's success and even Joey Beltran's success and all these guys and girls,
Yeah.
each person's success elevates the next person in this sport. And so
Exactly.
we all rise together. That's the way I see it. So I'm definitely open to those conversations as well. So I'm really, really glad that you brought that up. But I just want to say that I think the world of you and Bobo. I think I already said that, and I think a lot of people do. And has Bobo realized yet, or have you realized yet that kind of a certain celebrity status like that exists? Does Bobo feel that?
I mean, we have people, like last night we went to Patio 44 to eat, and there was like, psst, 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 and I'm like, what are they doing? Like, what are they doing? Why do they keep looking at us? And I'm like, like,
Yeah.
is there something on my face? And he's like, no. I was like, maybe it's just because you have a black eye. They probably think I beat you or something. So, and I mean, it's like, are you Bobo O'Bannon? Are you Brit? And I'm like, yeah, wow, what's up? And they're like, can we get a picture? Yeah, sure. And I'm like, why did they want a picture with us? And Bo's like, I don't know. So we just we just don't really get it. Like the other day, we're in our local town shopping at Walmart, and this guy and his girlfriend comes up, and she's like, excuse me. Oh, hush, I'll ask him. Excuse me. And Bo's like, yeah. And she's like, are you Bobo O'Bannon? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I kind of sometimes feel like I shouldn't answer the question. Like, why you want to know? And so, anyways, her and her boyfriend, like, she had to get a picture of them together and all, and both sent it to me. And he's like, that was wild. And then I was in there, and I had my bare knuckle shirt. And this little girl stopped me, and she's like, do you fight bare knuckle? And I was like, no, honey, like, my husband does, And I was talking to her. She was younger, and her dad came up, and he was like, you're Britton O'Bannon. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, you're managing your husband, Bobo. And I was like, yeah. He was like, man, y'all are awesome. And I'm like, okay. I mean,
it is surreal. And I think that these guys are we're all starting to feel it a little bit, not me so much, but like Sam the other day, actually when I was in Birmingham, he was going to be there, but it didn't work out. But I called him on my layover, and I was like, hey, what's going on, man? And he's like, oh, not much. Like, well, how's training camp going? He was in Philadelphia at the time. And he said, I did have kind of a weird experience. I think he was at a gas station or something. He's like, this guy came up and recognized me and asked me for my autograph, and come to find out he plays for the New York Yankees. And I was like, and he's like, and he just recognized me out of the blue. And he's like, that was just a really surreal moment for me, And so I think it's awesome, but at the same time, like, I don't think they all quite realize how fast the sport's growing and how much they're being recognized, and that they really are turning into celebrities, and it's awesome. I love it.
It's crazy though, because last night, because I have 2 MMA guys with Mooncow Management now, and last night we went, and it was supposed to be kind of like date night. You know, mom and dad get to go out for Mother's Day. And we were telling his cousin about it. And I told her, I said, Tammy, I can't really tell you, though, that we spoke a whole sentence to each other the whole fight because, like, Brandon Lambert came and sit down beside me talking. And then, like, besides him, like, people were just like, hey, excuse me, are you Bobo O'Bannon's wife, Britton? Or, hey, excuse me, are you Bobo O'Bannon? Can I put? And I was just like, what is going on? Like, maybe it's just because we're here, you know? But no, same thing happened to us at the gas station. Like, it was so funny. They were talking about, we'll have to Google them. I know that's them. And finally I was like, yes, hey. Like, it's crazy to me,
It's
though,
so
because we're
cool.
just normal people.
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
know. It's insane.
Well, Britton, it has been an absolute pleasure as always. And thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing your insights, and want to let you know that you're always welcome to come back on anytime. And I also want to give you a moment to shout out any sponsors or anybody that you want to recognize. Go for it.
Oh my Lance, so you would think a manager would have it like right here in front of her, huh? I mean, you would think, but no, because I didn't think you were going to put me on the spot like that. But actually, can I tell you what happened really fast? My husband got the piece of paper the other night for an interview, and I never got it back. And I'm like, dude, do you know that I can't do anything without my sponsor paper? But anyways, so actually, Britain's Battle has their very own sponsor now. So I'm gonna shout them out. They also sponsor Bo. But it's Be Lit Organics with Brittany and Brittany Carino, and then we have Aaron Gates with Wicked Fabrications. I cannot even say the word. And let's see, we have Circle One Designs. We have that does our shirts and stuff. We have BW Sports One, Dan Stevens, who's amazing. What else? I know I'm forgetting people, and I'm sorry, but this doesn't count because this ain't Bobo's interview, y'all.
No,
Okay?
this is you. And I do want to say that Brittany and I have a bet. Brittany Carino. We
Just
have
call it C. Brittany C.
Brittany C. We have a bet. She's betting on Joey, which is really a mistake in my opinion, and I'm of course betting on Sam. And it's a $100 bet. And if Joey wins, she is going to donate $100 to Britain's Battle. And if Sam wins, she's going to donate $100 to Britain's Battle. And if Joey wins, I'm going to donate $100 to Britain's Battle. So that is our bet, and she is definitely going to be donating that money. So thank you, Brittany. Just wanted to say that very quickly. And I think you're frozen, but now you're back.
Yeah, phone call again. Sorry. Well, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to hop off. First of all, please know I love absolutely every single one of the fighters. There's not one I've met that I don't like. I had seen one of my favorites, Chris Sorrow. He's one of my favorites. The other day at weigh-ins, and it was like looking at Bo before the Sam fight. He wasn't ready. You know what I mean? So when you ask me honestly, I had to go with Kakar because he wasn't ready. And I even said Bo wasn't ready before. So don't nobody take offense of that. But I'm going to say, Brittany, I'll go ahead and send you my PayPal information if you need it.
Yes. Thank you for that. Thank you.
We are after that fight, I have to say a huge thank you to Sam Shoemaker, because hearing my 3-year-old say, Daddy, do you want me to get the hammer? Has made my whole year. It's wonderful.
It is great. And as far as what Yankee player did New York Tutors, I didn't even ask, and I feel kind of dumb for not asking. But right now we got the man, Quentin, the hero, Henry.
Hey.
Welcome, brother. How you doing?
What's going on, guys?
How you doing, man?
Not bad. I was just getting the kids to sleep. Look, I got this big baby right here.
Yep.
They are look, I just have to say one more thing. I have been dying for a golden doodle to be a service dog, and I just think this is God speaking to me, and I hope Bo's watching. They have both talked about their dogs tonight, and I don't have a dog to talk about.
Jenny is a Doberman Shepherd. She's the best dog ever. You should get one of those.
Well,
there you go. There you go.
She's so sweet.
Well, my dog is an idiot. I love him, but he's a big goofball. And he's not worthy of being on camera. So
Yeah, she's like a real person, man. She hangs out, goes everywhere I go. Like we're buds.
that's awesome. So what have you been up to, man?
Oh man, well, Mother's Day. So we did the Mother's Day thing. Had brunch and mimosas at the house. So made some breakfast and all that. It's pretty good. Then yesterday we had a birthday party for my son. He turned 2. Then tomorrow will be my wife's birthday party. So needless to say, I got these bags under my eyes for a reason.
I hear that. I hear that. Well,
daddy, but it's been a good time. We've had a good time, so it's been pretty nice.
yeah, man. Well, hey, it was honestly a pleasure to meet you in Birmingham. Got the opportunity to meet you and chat it up a little bit. Oh, look at that shirt. He's repping it. I need one of those badly.
Me too. That was so cool.
Order them on
Where can we get that?
Spring or Teesprings. I got the link on my Instagram, but I got a bunch of different shirts on there that you can get.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it was awesome to meet you in Birmingham. And I know that you mentioned that you happen to be a fan of my guy as well. And we're both fans of you. So that was really cool for me.
Oh, yeah, man. It was a pleasure. Anytime.
Yeah. But one thing that I wanted to ask you about is that you were, and probably a million people have asked you this, but I haven't heard your response to it yet publicly. But the whole the fight after the fight, can you tell us, like, from your perspective, what the hell was going on there?
Well, my story, I mean, it's really not as cool as people like to make it out. We all right. So night goes on. You were there, right? You were like right there when it went down.
I was right there. I was like I was standing like right next to you.
What the hell, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to leave, and I went to go get Ryan so I could be like, "Hey, man, let's go." And like you can hear him in the video. He's like, "Hey, I got to get my check," and I'm like, "Oh, well, okay. I'm going to the car." Well, then in the middle of that, Robert was standing right there. I didn't even know he was standing right there, and Brandon was there. They were talking, but everybody was being cool. Like, how you can walk up to a situation, you can feel the vibes. Like, there were cool vibes that were going on. Like, and I think him and Ryan were talking about the fight. And I mean, Ryan's pretty chill with everybody anyway. So then, I could tell Ryan's body language. He was like, "I don't like you. Don't talk to me." But I think it was like, but he was like, "Yeah, man, okay." And then Brandon was talking to him, and he was like, "Yeah, man, we'll get a contract together, and we'll get a fight done or something." And it sounded like a business deal, like but also I wasn't paying attention. And so then I go to, and then the Robert guy like cuts in between us, and I was going to tell Ryan something, and then Brandon, he had said something about, they said something about going to the parking lot. I think Robert said something about the parking lot, and then Brandon was asking him something about the parking lot, and then Robert turned around and snuck him. Was walking off straight up, and then, it's terrible because if you look at the video of it, I'm blocking it. Like, you can't see that Robert had his back completely.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, they were saying it was a sucker punch, and I was like, was that a sucker punch? I didn't see. It didn't look like a sucker punch, and then I think there was a different angle, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, he turned to walk away. He was walking away and still kind of talking, and then Brandon followed him, and then he just turned around and from my perspective, it appeared to be a sucker punch. I think
he had all this planned, but he had a T-shirt on that night that said, "I hit that bee," like about, and he makes these T-shirts or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know. But yeah, so he hit Brandon, and I'm like, "Whoa, shit! Hey, what's going on here?" And then I like step in between because I thought Brandon was going down because like he hit him clean. And then I kind of stepped up to like give Brandon a second, and then I looked up, and then I looked back, and the dude was like, I go to back up, like, all right, fight, because I don't. It's not my fight. I'm not fighting the guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm really big on one-on-one fights. I'm not about to jump some dude. Like,
Sure.
You know, the bum. I don't need to jump on him. But like, if him and Brandon wanted to fight, I was like, all right, cool. And yeah. So then I'm like, man, so then he squares up on me and starts talking all ghetto and shit. And he's like, hey, come on, man, motherfucker, you know, doing his hands up or whatever. And then when I started walking at him, Tony grabbed him. And I'm like, all right, he's, you know, somebody's got him under control. And then, but Tony didn't hold on to him. Tony just grabbed him and threw him on the ground. I was like, well, shit. So then I jumped on top of him and held him. On that fight in the crowd, you're upset. Will that ever come into play from what you saw? So you know, I'll answer that. But when you go through and then everybody grabbed me, I guess because they thought I was the aggressor and they were like trying to act like I couldn't go anywhere. And I'm like, no, I'm about to go somewhere. Like I was like, y'all can follow me, or y'all can try and stop me. But either way, I'm going to the car and I'm about to go home. That was the whole reason I came over there in the first place. And but yeah, man, I think it got blown out of proportion. I think a lot of it, you know, it makes things it makes you worry about like what the ramifications are about that on the sport, like that question was, because you know, like I was just signing some autographs right there at like the next table over for some little kids. You know, so I mean, these are family shows. Like there are kids in the crowd that come to watch them, and a lot of times they're sitting at those tables, you know, that are right there where the fight happened, and you know, so I think you know, I don't like people getting into all those kind of confrontations and acting a fool in front of people because it looks bad for the fans to see, you know, kids seeing us act like that. But I'm also not gonna, you know, judge somebody on what they're doing. I'm not gonna stop them. And you know, Robert had been running around hollering a bunch of stuff in the crowd and the fans around them about Ryan, and then Brandon had said something to him. You know, Brandon does his kind of deal and all. But up until the point that he hit him, I thought there was a plan to this. Like, okay, we're just gonna, you know, I'm working it. I'm trying to sell a fight like Brandon does, and you know, and I thought he obviously had done a good job of it, you know. But and then he's not that smart, and he took it way too far. You know, once you go to hitting somebody in the crowd and potentially starting like a brawl or you know, a melee right there with a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
I say a bunch of kids. I sound like the fucking fake news media now. There were some children. There were a couple children right there. You know. But,
Yeah.
They but it's just ugly for the sport. You know, I don't like the fake fighting back and forth. I'm going to be tough and talk shit. Like we fight each other in there. Like there's no reason to do that. At the end of the day, like we're going to end up fighting about this. You know, like so why are we talking about it? You know, but then to bring it out in the crowd, because that's when it turns into more like criminal activity.
Yeah.
And it's bad enough when you tell somebody you're a bare knuckle boxer that, you know, they already immediately are like they think you're a crazy person, which we are probably a little off, you know, but at the same time, you know, we're not someone to be scared of out in society. But if you went to a bare knuckle event and it was your first one, and you're pumped up on that much adrenaline, you just watch Bobo and old dude beat each other up, and you're like, woo! And then all of a sudden you're scared to death because there's two grown men fighting right next to your kid,
and not just grown men, professional fighters.
Well,
you know?
Robert Washington's a bum. He just happened to got paid to fight. We won't call him a professional. But you know, that's where that is the difference in professionals. You know, I would have never done that. Somebody who's a professional would have never done that. But you know, so from my understanding, he's gone. He'll never fight again. Um, and I feel like, you know, I think he shouldn't have done that. I don't like. And he's an idiot. He's trying to get his attention and stuff, but there are better ways to go about it. But if you don't make an example out of him, it's just going to happen again, because now he's popular for giving me and Bobo and people like that a bad rap because he represents us, whether he likes it or not. And I don't like that guy represents me, but he does. And when you start acting like that, it just makes everybody look bad. And you got to cull the herd, you know, because as soon as that happens and Robert Washington gets another fight and you put him on TV, all they're going to talk about is him sneaking Brandon Lambert. and then you're going to have about 15 more guys sitting there at
Yep.
the house thinking about, oh, next time that fight comes in town and I'm close enough to drive, I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna talk shit to somebody till I can sneak them. I'm gonna go viral. I'm gonna be in bare knuckle fighting championship.
Yep.
And you just can't have that. And
yeah, people want to punch their way in.
And there's a way to do that. You can go to a tryout. You can go to a gym of somebody like me who knows the fighters and has fighters and takes them to tryouts and stuff like. There's ways to get in without being an idiot. And the issue is that most of these guys that aren't in already because they're idiots. And it's just the way that it is.
It is crazy. Yeah, and I think you make some really, really good points there. There has to be a certain level of professionalism here, guys, because we are trying to legitimize what we're doing, and that's just not the way to do it. So,
see, look, like with me, for example, like the biggest love-hate thing that I have is this crazy man mystique. You know what I mean? And like when I'm in there fighting, I do kind of get, like worked up and I'm excited and I'm, or whatever. But that's my thing when I'm in there. But then I hate it at the same time because when I walk around in the crowd, people think I'm the same person, and they don't come up and talk to me like they want to. Like I see people all the time who are looking at me and they're like they recognize me and they want to say something, but they seem like they're scared to, like,
yeah,
oh, the guy's going to bite my head off or something like that, so, and to have, now, and then on top of it, I'm breaking up a fight. He goes and starts giving his side of the story where it's like he got jumped by me and a bunch of other people, and it's like all you gotta do is Google my face, Google Quentin Henry images, and the first picture coming up is gonna be like screaming like a psycho, and you'll believe that. You will completely believe that story. So, but I don't.
It's pretty frustrating.
Much. I don't feel like he'll be back in the organization again. But one day if he is, I want to fight him.
There you go. So.
Not an organization. I'm just going to fight him in general. Like,
yeah,
outside. Right. Like, we'll prearrange somewhere,
Yeah, sign a waiver.
Yeah.
So I agree with everything that you're saying, and I think that it's funny that you bring up like kind of the perception that people have of the fighters and the type of people that they are. For example, one of our sponsors, one of Sam's sponsors, is a chiropractic clinic, and our Kelling Chiropractic, and Dr. Kelling, who has been treating Sam, one of the first things he said to me after his first session with Sam, he's like, how can a guy that is that nice also be that brutal? Like, he's like, I just didn't expect him to be that nice. He's just a gentle person. And I'm like, I don't know, ask him, but how can Bobo be that nice? How can Quentin Henry be that nice? Because at the end of the day, it's a sport. It's an athletic competition.
When you know you can fight, you don't have to let other people know that.
You
know what I mean? So like if I have a confrontation, the last thing I know I need to do is fight, because that's the only thing I know I don't have to worry about. I can fight. And I don't have to worry about you or anybody else that's in the room. They might be a better fighter than me, but I'm good enough I can handle myself. So you have, and typically when people are arrogant or people are pricks, it's because they're insecure. And y'all know this from meeting real fighters because y'all have met them. Some of the nicest guys you've ever met are fighters. And, and some of the worst people you've ever met are fake fighters. And it's hard to distinguish between them, but the issue is that most of the fake fighters are the ones getting the attention and the ones that are the loudest. And so with the sneak shot thing, but yeah, and that's what people are like. When I had issues with that growing up, or like in work and business and stuff. People just assume that I'm going to be aggressive and physical. Like, all right, he's a fighter. The first thing he's going to do is snap my neck, and I'm like, no, bro. I know you don't want to do that. I've already won that. Okay. I'm banking on the fact that you know that too. And we don't have to go there. And we can just have this talk. And, so most of the people that will say that you're a prick, if you're like me or Bobo like that, are people who don't let or who try and walk over people, because we're nice to a certain point, but at the same time we're not going to get let you walk over us, and then all of a sudden, no, now he's a big scary bare knuckle boxer, that type of stuff. So but yeah, I am an asshole sometimes. It's all depends on who you're talking to.
Absolutely.
I don't try to be. I want people to think I'm nice. I try to be nice to people, but I sure don't mind being an asshole when it needs to be. I'm actually preferring it here lately. It seems to be like it needs to happen a little bit more.
Well, on another note, if I could go in a different direction for just a moment.
Let's go.
What's next for you, man? I know that I saw Zion Tomlinson calling you out. I've seen a number of people calling you out. Do you have anybody on your radar, or have you heard anything that you can talk about?
Man, it's like something in the water or something. I don't know what's going on. I've had Zion and Jason Fish are the only two people of note that have wanted to fight. I had a couple other people talk some shit, but then when we tried to set it up, they weren't about that life. But they from my understanding, Zion just hopped up in the picture. The only other guy that was worth fighting or looking forward to fight was Jason Fish. He's 2-0 in the division. Besides Lorenzo, but I think Lorenzo's kind of above us as far as the record goes. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be fighting for that next belt or something. He ain't trying to fight somebody with 2 fights, I don't believe. So 2 or 3. Lorenzo also, if he's watching, great fight. Told him after fights. Was a good fight he had there.
Was a good fight. Excellent fight.
Hell of a fight. Really good fight. But yeah, so I think we had a little thing on Instagram, and then we kind of set up where Jason Fish, Josh Burns kind of threw his name in there, and I was like, let's go Hero versus Hook'em. Went down with that, and then Zion popped up and started throwing memes out, and so that went down.
Sign it and run it.
Yeah, so I'm down for both of them, so I mean, I figured Fish was going to be my next opponent anyway, but I haven't gotten anything from Bare Knuckle official. They were supposed to talk to me after last weekend with because they were kind of waiting to see what happened with the division and where some people were going. I know that Lorenzo's fight kind of would have determined how things go. But as far as I know, Jason Fish wants to fight, and not Lorenzo.
Zion. Yeah.
Zion wants to fight. So I'm down to fight either one of them. So
I'd like to see either one of those fights. To be honest with you, I'd love to see either one of those.
Yeah, I mean they're both. Everybody likes Zion. I don't think Fish has as big a following, but he's an impressive guy.
A good fighter. Yeah.
Yeah, so and Zion's a cool dude. I've hung out with him at the fights and all. So I've never really hung out with Jason Fish, but I know Josh Burns, and they're kind of in the same group of people, and they're all pretty cool. So it's pretty, whatever they want to fight. I know Jason Fish was being rude to me on Instagram the other day. I didn't appreciate what that was about.
How dare he?
Yeah, Zion stepped up and started talking, and I think he felt like he needed to start talking, and he chose to be rude about it instead of doing it in a classy way. But
you just need to get on his threads and just type in Zion's a bum.
Yeah, that's what Zion does on all Yulee stuff. Yulee's a bum. I bet that hashtag has been streaming a couple of times. I know Zion does that shit.
Oh man! So speaking of Yulee, so there's another big card coming up. Right. I would love some insight from you. Do you have any predictions on that card
for Yulee Diaz and Thiago?
For the whole thing, everybody that they've announced. So you've got.
You have to run down the card with me because I'm slightly autistic and I don't keep up.
Okay, so you've got Palomino versus Tyler Goodjohn.
Palomino.
Okay.
Let's run down the list and I'm going to spit out who's winning. Go.
Yeah.
Right.
You've got
what about
Yulee.
What about you, Britton?
Palomino.
Palomino.
Don't worry, I'll correct him if he's wrong. It's fine, y'all.
All right, hang on.
I promise.
Hang on, let me make sure I don't misspeak here. But let's see here. Who do we have? I got to make sure. Okay. So then we got Palomino, Goodjohn. We got Alves versus Diaz.
Alves.
Thiago.
Yep, Thiago.
Correct.
Yep.
You got okay, and then you got Hector Lombard versus Joe Riggs.
What are the betting odds on that? We got betting odds?
I don't know. I think that's going to be a good one to watch.
I'm thinking maybe.
They're not.
Go ahead.
Oh, man.
No,
we're looking at, it depends on what Hector shows up. But, here's the thing. Joe Riggs is a tough-ass dude. He's not the greatest fighter in the world, but he is really tough. But he's got solid boxing. I'm not knocking Joe Riggs. He's a veteran, So, that one I think everybody's just going to think Hector's going to blow him away, but I think he's definitely I think he's got a chance for sure. But if I was putting my money on it, I'm going with Hector.
All right, and then the $1 million question: Beltran versus Shoemaker.
Shoemaker.
Okay. I mean, come on.
Hey,
I think we need to all take this bet with Brittany. Let's all
Joey's
be smart.
Gonna be mad at me next time he sees me, but I like them both. I'm a huge fan of both, but Sam's like my number one all-time favorite. Like, he was my first favorite bare knuckle fighter. So, there's just that. And look, dude, and because you and Sam are cool and all, but he looks totally different from the very first bare knuckle fight I saw him in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, way different.
Man, he looks, which, I mean, most people say the same thing about me. So, but I respect that, but when I watched him in his very first fight, or wasn't his first fight, it was the first one I saw, he fought that really tall kickboxing guy that was undefeated down in Biloxi.
Yep.
Yeah. And I watched him fight that fight, and I was like, when he first came out, I'm like, this dude's name's the Hillbilly Hammer. I'm like, all right, let's see how this goes. Dude, he has a really good fight IQ, and most people don't recognize that about him as far as sticking to his game plan and doing what he's supposed to do. And if you can do that and avoid damage and pack a mallet like he does, you can beat anybody,
Yeah.
And, but at the same time, Joey Beltran's a great fighter. I think that is going to be a very good fight. It's not one of those that I think you're going to be bored with at all.
No. I think it's going to be a knockdown drag out, but I like what you say though. I mean, like, and one thing about Sam, like, if you've noticed, and I'm sure you have, but if you watch Sam's fights, of all the bare knuckle fighters, like that have, and very few of them have had as many fights as he has, but of all of them, he's maybe taken the least damage of anybody overall. Like, he really hasn't been hurt or cut badly or anything like that. And I think that that fight IQ speaks to that. Like, he knows how to avoid damage. And I think that there are people that can take some notes from that, because it's been overall pretty successful. So
yeah, I mean, that's one of the things too, though, is that Joey is super tough. Like,
super
I don't
tough.
think anybody's ever knocked Joey out or down even.
Not in bare knuckle.
Yeah, not in bare knuckle. I don't think he has.
But he's been knocked out in MMA.
Right.
But but that's a totally different sport. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that card. Do you have an idea of what card you'll be on next?
From what I'm being told is August. That's when we're looking to fight again, or have me on another card. I don't know exactly where that would be, but late summer, August is what they're telling me. And unless something pops up in Louisiana, or there's a dropout and I just slip in somewhere, y'all never know where I might pop up.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm always looking forward to watching the hero. I'm telling you right now.
Hey man, I gotta eat. You know what I'm saying? I gotta try to fight.
Hell yeah.
Can't eat.
Hell yeah.
Fight.
Absolutely.
Puppy to take care of.
So Juan's asking about I'm getting this question a lot. Juan is asking about Hillbilly Hammer beer. So we launched this a while back, and just this last week we got in we were able to up the production, and now we're producing it in cans, which is super cool. We got a 3D label. It's really neat. And everyone's been asking, where can you get it? And here's the deal. the distribution regulations are super complicated.
Had the same
And
thing, old fashioned mix.
yeah, and so right now we are limited in our distribution efforts. But hey, if and we're limited to state of Missouri and working with certain distributors, but if the demand is there, we will expand. I'll just say that.
Right, nice.
So Scott has a question for you, Hero. Have you changed your training regimen in any way?
From when? That would be not specifically. I haven't not really. I haven't changed anything. Not from the Lieben fight. I guess we've been doing the same deal. The issue with the Lieben fight wasn't my training. So I was in the best shape I've ever been in. I'm still the best boxer I've ever been. I just didn't do it that night. I got a little too excited. Tiger got out the cage, and it is what it is, but I didn't do anything wrong. There were no mistakes that I made leading up to it, not as far as my training camp or anything like that goes. If anything, I feel like, it was perfect. I finally figured it out. So, I'm not worried about that. Right now I'm just more like bored. So, I still, how many wins you need to be on a hero's radar? All you got to do is have your ass on a contract from Nate Shook, and I'll sign. Give a damn how many wins you got. But yeah, so it hasn't changed much, man. I work out once a day at least, and then I really go at minimum usually twice a day, and then I do my coaching and stuff in the evening. I haven't done as much like specific training with my boxing coach here lately, but I've just been busy with some business and life stuff. But I'm still training, still working out, but no, I'm not. No changes. I just gotta go in there with better focus next time.
That's fair. Hey, Howie, DM me on that. I'll work with you. But yeah, man. I'm just such a huge fan of you. I'm a huge fan of Britton, and I see Bobo in the background. Hey, Bobo.
I'm trying to cover him.
Yeah, that's why I had to pull that shot in there.
But it was the situation with the eye. I guess he's like, how's the eye? I guess, where's the camera at?
No, I think what he was saying was
my stitches.
The issue with your fight was the eye.
No, I won't say that 100%. I mean, that didn't help, but no, I'm not one that's gonna, lay that on anything. There were things I could have done, to keep that from happening. I guess, I felt like, when they had said break twice, that was when the foul occurred after they had said break, but it was before the ref had really grabbed us type of deal. So, it is what it is, but no, I'm not hung up on that. It didn't, I mean, I have actually, it's funny you say that. I've thought about that. Like I need to start training with just one eye. So in case it happens in the fight, I can still like, all right, this is what works when I only have one eye. Let me, cause in hindsight, I should have switched to southpaw, cause I was like, damn, cause it was trying to throw my left and I couldn't see with it. So I just kind of went willy-nilly with it. But no, man, more of the problem was just me, adrenaline-wise. Like used to always had an issue with, and you hear about this with a lot of fighters, the issue is that they can't get hyped up enough. Like it's almost like they're too scared. And I had that issue for a long time, like just nerves, like, oh, I don't know. And you're hesitant when you go in there. And this was the opposite of that. It was like, somebody just hit me with a 1,000 milligrams of epi. It was like, and I just could not slow down. And that was the result, and it wasn't that I was, he was better than me. It was just, he caught me on a shot. And, everybody knows fighting's like dancing, it's a rhythm to it. And I was fast, I was hitting some techno. And he was slow dancing, man. He was slow dancing, way slower than I thought he was going to be. I was expecting, this is Chris Lieben. He's going to be, something I've never seen before. And, that wasn't the case. And it's just when our two rhythms finally caught, when you got two bad dancers, or two different rhythms, you end up stepping on somebody's feet. He stepped on mine first. Is kind of what ended up happening. So, but but no, it is what it is. We're gonna move on from it. I think if we fought 99 more times, I win every one of them. And I'll say that every day. So plan is right now, go take out the rest of the division. Jason Fish, Zion, whoever steps up, whoever gets me the belt, and then I'm gonna call Cliff Sleeman out of retirement, and then he's got to come fight me then. I think that's the only way I get redemption on him is I got to go get that belt, and that's the only thing that would make him come back and fight me. So
I'd pay to see it.
That's where I'm going with that.
I'd definitely pay to see that fight.
Oh, yeah.
Well, hey guys,
when it's going down.
Tell you what,
does anybody know the location of the August show, or have they said? Or
I haven't heard anything.
Somebody just said in the comments it would be in Biloxi.
Okay, cool. I love Biloxi, so it works for me.
Yeah,
like my home away from home.
Biloxi's a nice town. I've enjoyed visiting Biloxi.
And Biloxi's so quiet too. That's the thing. You don't get to go to very many like vacation type things. My wife's family is in Biloxi, and man, but it's such a peaceful beach. It ain't Pensacola or Destin, or the Florida Keys, but there's an ocean there. There's constant breeze, and there's a little bit of salt water. But it's chill.
Absolutely. Well, hey, do you have anybody that you want to shout out? Any sponsors? Anybody you want to talk about?
Man, Dregner Nutrition. Hooked us up with some supplements. Thank you guys for having me on. Let me see. Traxler Chiropractic, my gym here at Fitness Academy. I got the boxing, jiu-jitsu. I know I'm going to be missing some people. I know B-Load Organics, AirMed, Hemp Extracts. Man, who else? I'll tag them.
Tag them, baby. Well, hey,
I got my list next to me, but hey, we need a new fight so I can get some sponsors for the next fight.
Absolutely.
I don't have nobody to really talk about because there's no fight coming up.
Well, we need to see you fight again. I think we all need that in our souls. And
happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to thank Mom. I want to thank my mom and my wife for being awesome. And thank you.
If she sees this, hey, Aubrey D.
There's that Teespring link for you all too.
Oh, appreciate
it. Oh,
yay!
There it is. I'll be visiting.
A couple of my guys at my gym, IT guys, do graphic design stuff, and they've kind of just had competitions, just making shirts on my site. And they get a cut of whatever they sell. They're pushing them and all. So got some killer swag out there.
Absolutely. Well, they're doing a great job. And hey, man, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Britton, thank you. Bobo, I see you back there. Love you. And I thank you. And we appreciate everybody hanging out with us tonight.
Oh.
Bye, Jenny.
All right. Bye, Jenny.
Bye, Love Jenny.
That guy's awesome.
He is. And Bo doesn't even know, but I'm about to go spend money on some hero swag.
Hero swag and a new dog.
Oh, yeah. If anybody's listening, I really need a golden doodle, y'all. I want a little golden doodle that can be a service dog. And I'm trying. Is he looking at me? That's all he's heard about. And I mean, I woke up this morning like, I can't wait. And I looked everywhere and I couldn't find it. It was weird.
Yeah, it's either hero swag or a golden doodle, I guess, right? So.
Oh, hold on. He doesn't make me choose. That is not what happens in this house.
So what we're saying is, if anybody wants to sponsor us a golden doodle, open.
Yeah, that would be a perfect trade-off, y'all. I would put your name everywhere.
Listen, I've got a 5-year-old American Bulldog. He's about 140 pounds, and he is not qualified to be a service dog in any way. But he might be able to pull a sled, or you could, he might be able to if you put yourself on a cart on wheels, I mean, he might be able to pull you around town. You might not go where you want to go, but you'll definitely go somewhere.
I need to see how big he is because I'm kind of thinking if I push Bo over like on the floor, I should have enough room for both of the dogs.
I've got a wife that acts like a 5-year-old that's about 340 pounds. If you reckon that dog can pull her.
Goodness. You know what? I'm super uncomfortable right now. But
You're welcome.
He just made me act like that my first night on your show. I apologize.
it's okay. We still love you guys. You guys have such an interesting dynamic, and I think most people I enjoy it. I think it's hilarious, but it does make me a little bit uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie.
Don't be.
Because my wife would cry if I talked about her like that. So you guys are both awesome.
Well, let me ask you this really quick. Like,
yeah,
do
go
you
ahead.
not like? I don't know the word. Like, do you not pick on your best friend?
Of course. Well, I don't have any friends other than you guys, but
Well-
Don't either.
nobody likes me.
They like me more than they like you. Anyways,
Me and my wife do the same thing. So now I see why other people are uncomfortable around me.
yeah, like it's my best friend. Like I'm one of those. If he says, "Hey, do I look horrible in the shirt?" Yep, you do.
Exactly. That's the same shit I say. So
Yeah, so yeah, it's fun living with your best friend. You know, you can say what you want to, and you don't get any flashback from it.
Great. Well, I think it's been a good show. Matthew just lost connection. I don't know what happened there.
Oh man.
So on this note, it's probably just a good time to end it.
Yeah.
So, but thank you for coming on. You're always welcome on. You have the link. It's for you and Bobo. So
Okay.
anytime you guys want to pop on here and just hang out.
I'm just gonna click it all the time.
Yeah, exactly. But looks like Matthew's popping back in.
I don't know. I just got kicked off. I don't know what happened.
We were trying to stop the show. Stop.
Yeah,
the
you're getting ready to end the show.
All right. Well, it is about time. And honestly, I'm sitting here about to pee my pants, and so I'm gonna have to get up regardless.
Right.
But I love all you guys, and I appreciate you. Yeah, well, I might have to consider that going forward. But awesome show, guys. It was super fun. Thank you for coming on, Britton, and thank you for making a special guest appearance, Bobo. Appreciate that, and love you guys. And
We love
Matt,
y'all
thank
too.
you, and everybody. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's
And-
Day.
Have a wonderful night, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Peace.
What we do here is go back.
And if you look at the face of Joe, he's a complete mess right now. There's blood all over the place. His eyes swell. If you look at Tom Jones, you don't see much, man.